here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. We have another phenomenal show. I think it's the woman who defined the word joy. It's LeAnn Lyon is on with us. She's in the green room, so to speak, and she's literally like scratching at the monitor saying, "Let me in, Brian. I'm ready. Let's go. In a minute. We'll get to you. We're coming." Yes, she is a bundle of joy, a lot of fun, and you are going to love getting to know her. Why? Because she is going to help you with your business by sharing what she has done to make her business successful. And that is what this show is all about. The Mind Body Business Show is literally a show about you, the business person, the entrepreneur. No matter where you are in your journey, you could be just starting out. You could be looking to figure out what kind of business you want to start, or you could be on the other end of the spectrum and already highly successful with a full-blown team with multiple franchises or businesses running. The cool thing about the show is it doesn't matter where you are, because you are destined to learn something new that you can implement and take hold of that strategy and put it into practice into your business and further improve your results. That is literally what this show is all about. And it's about what I call the 3 pillars of success. And those came about over a duration of about 10 years or so when I was studying only successful people, just focusing on the successful ones and what made them more successful than perhaps yours truly. Like, what did they do differently? How did they go about business? How did they go about their life, their personal life? What was their secret sauce, their recipe? And in so doing, these 3 pillars of success, I like to call them, kept bubbling up to the top, and they are the very namesake of this show, Mind, Body, and Business. And so mind stands for mindset. And so what I learned is, to a person, these very successful individuals had mastered basically creating a very positive, a very powerful, and one of the most often overlooked characteristics is a very flexible mindset. And then body. To a person, these individuals also took care of themselves nutritionally and physically. It doesn't mean that they were a bodybuilder if they were a guy or a gal, or were they a supermodel if they were a gal. No, it has nothing to do with that. It means taking care of oneself so you can operate at peak performance at all times, so you can exercise on a regular basis and eat and drink things that are good for you. And business is so multifaceted. That's where most people want to go first. Hey, Brian, how do I do marketing? How do I do sales? How do I do team building? How do I do leadership? How do I do? And they forget to take care of their mind and their body first, which is the biggest mistake I have seen in my now almost 60 years on this planet. I'm 59 as this show goes live today. That's been the biggest one. Yours truly, I am just as guilty in that, where I focused only on the business aspects. And we will also cover business aspects as well in all of those areas. Those are skill sets that you must master: the sales, the marketing, the team building, the leadership, systematizing, you name it. There are a bunch of them. And the really good news is you only need to master one skill set at all, period. And then you can use that one skill set to leverage and bring in other individuals who have already mastered the remaining skill sets that are necessary to really build and scale your business. And so if you want to concentrate on just one skill set and mastering it, then I would recommend, if you're concentrating on any of the others, maybe pump the brakes a little bit on those and then concentrate on the skill set of leadership, even if you do not have a team yet. And there's a whole story behind that. That's another time, for another time, because that's a big topic. It's super simple to do, and there are books upon books written about it. So you can educate yourself in those areas. Right now, we want to concentrate on the amazing LeAnn Lyon, who's going to be coming on here very, very soon. Yeah, I'm throwing that tease out there because she's coming. Yes, do not go anywhere, because you're going to love her and you're going to love her message. And you're going to love that you're going to have things that you can now take action on. In fact, a little birdie told me that she might have brought a gift with her. Yeah, so you'll definitely want to stay to the very end. And we also have a gift here that we love to give away. It's a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort, compliments of Reach Your Peak. And it's a resort that you can stay at, and you get to choose literally anywhere in the world. And we've given away many of these vacation stays. It's legit. It's amazing. It's awesome. You want to stick around. We give that away to only those watching live. And that's toward the end of the show. So you don't want to go anywhere. And on the topic of successful entrepreneurs, what I also learned during this time was that to a person, they were also very avid readers of books. And I know LeAnn is, because of talking to her just before the show. She was mentioning to me the latest book she's reading. So there you go. We have successful people following successful patterns. And so with that, I want to segue real quickly and real briefly into a little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by ReachYourPeakLibrary.com.
There you see it, ReachYourPeakLibrary.com. And a real quick word of advice, if I may. I have spoken from stage for years, and I remember especially in the beginning years when I would be on stage and I'm getting to that really juicy part. I know when the point of life-changing information is about to come, because it was my presentation. And I would notice on occasion that someone would get up out of their chair and walk out. They got that all-important text message on their phone, or they just had to go to the bathroom. They couldn't hold it anymore. And so I learned from that and said, you know what? I ask you to keep your presence, keep your focus here. I know this isn't a physical room, but it would be the worst thing if you were to take your focus away from LeAnn Lyon when she comes on here in just a moment and miss that one golden nugget that could potentially change our life forever. It is that important. And so rather than going off and looking at resources, you're going to get a few during this show, like reachyourpeaklibrary.com. Rather than going off and typing it in and checking it out while you're quote unquote listening, this multitasking thing that doesn't work that well for most. Instead of doing that, what I would ask you to do for yourself, this isn't for me, is to write it down. I'm going to be taking notes as well, and I'm running this entire gig here. So I don't ask of you anything I myself personally wouldn't do. And so I ask of you to do that so that you can stay here, because I always say the magic happens in the room. So that way you cannot miss a single golden nugget from LeAnn Lyon, because, I know she's got a bunch of them. Reach Your Peak Library. It is a website that I had put together with you in mind. So you can practice right now. Write that down, reachyourpeaklibrary.com, and then visit these resources after the show is over. That's why we take the notes. And so reachyourpeaklibrary.com is literally a website that I built. I had my team put together with you in mind. And what it is a compilation of books that I myself have personally read and I vet, meaning they have had either a profound impact on my personal life or my business life, or even both. More focused toward business, in all honesty, than personal. And that's why they're here, for you looking to build and grow your business. So you can see they're in no particular rhyme or reason order. They are here just as I read them. I said, add this to the site, and my team would put it in there. And so pick the book that you have not read on this list that jumps out at you, that you find the most compelling, and go get it wherever you want to get it. You don't have to get it from this website. You can get it from Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Maybe you like to go to a physical bookstore, whatever the case may be. But just make sure that you do get the book, number one. Number two, read it for sure. And then number three, put into action the actionable strategies and steps that are outlined in the book. If you just read it and learn it, it's not going to take you very far in your business unless you act on it. And so that is my soapbox moment for reachyourpeaklibrary.com. And I have to mention one more thing. This is brand new, first time announced right here on the Mind Body Business Show. I myself now have my own book called Mind Body Business, The 3 Pillars of Success. This just released a week and a half ago. It is now available. And all you have to do is go to mindbodybusinessbook.com, mindbodybusinessbook.com, write that down. And you can get it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, either one, for a limited time for just 99 cents, the Kindle version. Paperback and hardcover are also available. I'm holding the hardcover And this was 10 years in the making, over 10 years. And it is the very inspiration for this show. This book started long before this show did, about twice as long ago. 10 years, the show's been running for over 5. And so I'm very excited to make that available to you. And I need to get that up on the Reach Your Peak Library website soon. It just came out, like I said. So that is that. And we are going to now bring on the most amazing guest and reason you are here to watch this very show. LeAnn Lyon is in the wings, ready to come on. Let's bring her forward, shall we? Yes, here we go.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, it is the only LeAnn Lyon.
That was a lot of qualifiers, though, Brian. Oh, no. Fear factor all over the place.
Every one of them true. Every one of them true. Yes. That's why you're here on the show, LeAnn, to be honest. And we bring on successful entrepreneurs from all over the world to share your brilliance, to share your experience, to share what has worked for you, even to share what has not worked for you, so that entrepreneurs can avoid the things that they shouldn't do, which are just as important as knowing the things to do. And so, grateful to have you here with us. And I appreciate you for taking the time out of your busy day. I know you're planning and you're bringing a summit to reality very, very soon. And we'll feel free to talk about that. Summits are a lot of fun. And when you're organizing them and you're the head of them, woo-wee, it's a lot of work. And I can so understand that. And what I wanted to do before we get rolling deep into the beautiful mind of LeAnn Lyon is to, well, first introduce you to who she is. Would that be cool, LeAnn?
Have at it. I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Well, everyone meet LeAnn Lyon, the heart and soul behind Joyminder LLC, where she spreads cheer as the Chief Joy Officer, CJO, on winwinwomen.tv. She captivates audiences with her show called Lead with LeAnn, sharing insights with a sprinkle of joy. A serial entrepreneur at heart, LeAnn's journey has woven through esteemed circles like BNI, Toastmasters, and the empowering realms of Tony Robbins. With the eloquence of a John Maxwell certified speaker, that's her. That's what she's trying to say there. And the precision of, this one's going to get you. It got me, of a Taekwondo black belt. Oh my God, I can't even say it. I'm so worried about her hitting me through the screen with one of those. Yes, no, she said she would protect me in the streets of Minnesota if I was going down a black alley or a dark alley. She would be there to protect me. That's pretty awesome. She also navigates the real estate waters as a licensed Minnesota realtor. You can start to see the entrepreneurship in her. It's everywhere. Her accolades shine bright, from the President's Club for Yellow Book Yellow Pages to a top 10 growth affiliate for NowSite. And the title she cherishes most right now is Devoted Wife since 1995. Oh, good on you. I love family. Proud mom to 2 wonderful daughters, and the loving human to a furry feline friend. With that, ladies and gentlemen, LeAnn Lyon officially is welcome to the stage of the Mind Body Business Show. Woo! It's going to be fun. Oh my goodness. So much to go through. And I love the Chief Joy Officer moniker. And I can't say how important enough it is for everyone to realize how powerful that title is, because of the attitude it brings forth in you daily. And what it does to impact you every single day, the attitude of gratitude and everything that goes with that. People don't realize, and I didn't for a long time, about the importance of one's mindset. And just to have that in your title alone is a very powerful statement, not just to others, but also that you have integrated that. And so kudos for that. And what I wanted to find out from you, LeAnn, knowing that you're an entrepreneur, you've been around, you know that it's not the easiest thing to do on the planet. In fact, it's far more difficult than to say get a job where a corporation is doing all of the heavy lifting, the marketing, the payroll, the support, everything that goes with it. When it comes to you and you get up in the morning, this is something I'm deeply curious about with each of my guests, and you're coming into awareness, you've woken up, And you now know all of these things are in front of you that you go through every single day. Arduous ones, good ones, bad ones. For you, what keeps you driven? What is going on in your big, beautiful brain when you wake up and you're going through, okay, this is it, another day. I'm going to power through it no matter what. What drives you to do this every single day?
It's lives being touched, it's lives being
Mm.
changed. And for me, I work with a lot of business owners or wannabe business owners, and we're the minority. 41% of people think they'd like to own their own business, but only 9% of business owners are actually self employed. So you got a 32% out there saying, I wish, I think, I could, I would. And 59% of the population saying, no way, Jose. Don't want to do it. Somebody else can do that. And it's knowing that I can help that 32% and or improve the other 9% as well. That makes a difference to me.
Yeah, because it's a lot to navigate, especially if you're not aware of what it really takes to build a successful business. It's very common. I've been in network marketing circles for many, many years, as we were talking about before the show. I
Mhm.
co-owned a company for a while in that space. And it was interesting, the messaging, not our company, because I got tired of hearing this, is like, all you have to do is recruit someone just like you and sit back in your hammock and drink your fun drink and rake in the bucks, like making it sound super easy. Nothing could be farther than the truth. The only ones I ever saw get to the top were the ones that worked their ever living butts off to get there. There was
Yeah.
nothing easy or automatic about it. And the unfortunate thing in many companies, cultures that start these network marketing companies often miss the mark by saying, "Oh, it's a piece of cake. You don't have to do anything," and it's just a disservice to everyone, giving them false hope. And I hope more and more people like you come out. I can see you nodding emphatically to all this, that know the truth, that can help others to say, "Look, this is what it takes. Here's A, B, C, D, E, F. If you want to work with me, I'll help you."
Right. Exactly. In fact, I know one of the viewers today is also a top network marketer, and I've known him for years. I know how hard he works every single day, how much he puts forward, and everybody thinks, "Oh, I want the time, money, freedom, all that." That's great, and you can have that, but not in the beginning. It's kind of like parenting to a degree. You want the freedom of the 16-year-old who can drive themselves, right? But you have to go through the 2-year-old, the 3-year-old that is
Very
completely dependent on everything from you.
fantastic analogy. I love that. Yeah, you have to go through the growing pains, and there are
No,
a lot of them. Wow, that's actually very astute. I love that
parenting.
because, when you're starting at 2, your biggest focus is, I wanna walk, or I wanna get rid of these diapers. Then you get to 3, it's like, now I wanna walk. So the goal changes, but you're always growing and getting closer to the end goal, and that's so similar to the entrepreneurial journey. And it's just some people work harder at it and also get the correct and proper mentorship to guide them in the right path sooner. That's one thing that I did not have when earlier in my life. I didn't even know there was this thing called entrepreneurship. I was a corporate guy for decades. And then I learned about this thing called entrepreneurship. I said, I'll take that door. I like that one. I'm going to go with that one. That's way more fun and more challenging. It's, oh my God, talk about challenging. Yeah, you have a couple of people that are showing some love. There's Diana Parker on YouTube saying awesome with hearts flying everywhere. Stephen R.
Mm,
Harris, LeAnn spreads joy everywhere she goes. Yes, Stephen was
well,
on our show some time ago. Thanks for coming on and supporting
yes.
Stephen. Appreciate that very, very much. Yes, and we have quite a few on. So, by the way, everyone that's watching and listening, we would love for you to chat with us, just like Stephen and Diana have, and we'll give you a shout out. And if you have a question for LeAnn as we're going through the show, drop it in the chat, and time permitting, we'll drop that in there as well. And we'll get to pick this amazing woman's brain very gently and very lovingly to extract her incredible knowledge and strategies and experience. Experience is really important. Would you say how important is experience when, if you're going to look and choose a mentor who has been through the battlefield, would you rather go with someone who's been doing it for 20, 30 years and is successful, or someone who just started at 5 to 10 years and they hit success early? Would you have a preference?
Boy, that's a great question. And there's pros and cons to everything. Sometimes if you go with the people who've been there for a long time, they're also stuck in something that worked a while ago. Anybody heard of AI? You know, being a Gen Xer like you, kind of on the older age of Gen Xers, both of us. There's a lot of people our age that are like, all freaked out about technology. Like they wouldn't do this on StreamYard and they wouldn't have AIs. So in that sense, sometimes it's better to go with somebody who's a little bit younger. But if they haven't gone through and been tested, if they haven't hit those pivots and those low points, that can also be a challenge. So, depending on where you are, your own journey may determine whether or not you'd pick one or the other.
Absolutely perfect answer. I mean, it really doesn't, it's not a yes or no, this one or that one answer. It depends. And a perfect example is I've had one mentor who could by age be my son. And when I first met him, he hadn't even turned 30. And I learned more from him than I have any other person on the planet, through everything, mindset, business, everything. And now recently, I am learning from a 28-year-old phenom who started entrepreneurship at 18, and he talks as if he has the experience of a 40-plus-year-old. That told me he's well read. He has taken the right paths and gotten the right mentorship. And so I might lean toward him if I were given both of those options. Like you say, it's kind of a case by case basis, and I think you just want to be very discerning in who you do choose as your mentor, because you're going to be investing time and oftentimes financial money to get that mentoring. You want to make sure that you've done your diligence and done some research, maybe get some references. And then one of the biggest questions I always ask, LeAnn, what do you think about this? Is that mentor holding a position? Are they in a place that I aspire to be in, their level of success?
Right. Absolutely. And, if they're not where you want to go, then why are you following them at all? I mean, really, truly find the people who have been where you are and can shortcut your path to the success that they have. So it's ideal if you can find somebody that's in your industry, that's in the place where you really truly want to be. It can be more challenging if you're like, oh, they're almost there, or they're in brick and mortar, but I want to be online, but I really like them. Just understand you're going to go through a lot more challenges.
I'm laughing because I can remember you just brought up a memory years ago. I was working as a software engineer, and I remember down two chairs from me was a guy, genius guy, I mean, for software. And he's down there recommending this stock to all of us. You should buy this stock. You should do. And I'm thinking, I should take advice from you. Yet you're sitting two chairs down from me, making no more than I am right now. Why would I do that? I'm thinking this. I didn't say it to him because he was trying to be helpful. But same thing you're saying is you want to get the advice from people who've been through the trenches and have reached that level of success. And you could literally be reaching out to a mentor who has hit a bottom. I mean, it's happened many times. The most successful people have lost everything multiple times, and they just know how to get back up. That doesn't mean they're a bad mentor. If they're in that low, they may help you. You may learn how to rise up with them, might be more powerful. But anyway, I'm going way down a rabbit hole with this. So I wanted to ask.
Let me add on to that just a little bit, because kind of similarly, because talk about the network marketing background too. A lot of people will give you advice when you want to start a business, and network marketing or any other kind. And they'll say, oh, well, that'll never work, or that'll never fly, or you'll never. Well, again, look at who's saying it before you decide that they're right. Because unless they've done something different that did work, who are they to tell you that what you're trying won't? Trust your gut. I love that Jamie Kern Lima says, trust your no before their no. Trust your own KNOW before you listen to their NO.
I love it. I love it. Oh, we got comments coming in. Hendricks Academy says, even when your kids are grown, you still worry and take care of them when they have struggles, just like your own. Oh, so true. Just like your own business. It will never drive itself. You are never free to just walk away.
Never.
Not entirely 100% true, but if you build your business to sell with the mindset to sell it, you could have an exit strategy. But yeah, while you're in it and you're building it, there's no walking away. That's so true, especially when you're building the team and you haven't built a team big enough to where you really aren't needed day to day, moment to moment. So yeah, that it depends on what stage you're in your business. That's entirely true. Thanks, Hendricks Academy. Yes, I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. So network marketing, I mentioned in the opening with your bio, you're like top 10 of Now Site. That is
Yeah.
a monstrous achievement. And what I want to
Thank
tell everybody right now, before we go a step further, is you do want to listen to LeAnn Lyon. It is very difficult to reach that kind of stature in any company. But my God, I've been through network marketing companies. I've co-owned one. I've been through so many of them, and I know what it takes to get to the top or even near the top. And that tells me you have put in the legwork. You put in the work. You've put in the working on your mind, on your business, on establishing a culture. You have to lead. You get to lead your own team. So it's like you are also a corporate leader within a corporation. There's a lot of cool dynamics with network marketing. And so I just want to point that out, that that is no small achievement to be number 10 in a company as big as NowSite. So kudos to you. And I want to give you an applause for that. That is a big, big thing. I mean, that's better than getting a t-shirt walking up on stage, right?
Better than getting a t-shirt. And NowSite is really a software. It's different. It's not network marketing at all, in fact, but it still has that idea of team leadership and sharing. It's much more of an affiliate program.
Oh,
And so but like Yellow Book, Yellow Pages, I mean, that dated me when you mentioned that one, but President's Club is a top 1%. And it's funny because I didn't aspire to that necessarily, but when you have something put out in front of you, like, hey, we'll send you on a trip, it's hard to not go for it.
well, the other cool thing is you're using something that works for you and your business. And you naturally, because you have that servant attitude, you're about joy, you're about helping people, you will naturally refer others to it. Say, this works for me. It's simple. You don't need to be a techie, and you can do what you need to get done for your business. Would you like me to show it to you? And I'm sure you've had many of those conversations to put you at number 10. I did not know they were not network marketing. Is it like a 2-tiered affiliate or something like that? Or
Actually,
just
it's just they have changed their platform. I know
okay.
that you had some experience with them in the past. They've changed
Yeah.
their platform. It's now, share to get your platform for free, which is awesome.
Oh, nice.
And at the same time, it's just changed.
That's good. Change is good. I've seen a lot, and thankfully, because in the beginning there were struggles, and that's nothing wrong with that, because every company, I don't know of any company that doesn't go through some kind of struggle, especially in the beginning. And with that company being tech-based, oh my, I just thought, good luck, because I have a lot of tech background, and it's a lot of moving parts. So kudos to them for finding something that works, hitting the sweet spot. And that isn't to say they won't change it going forward, because like with the advent of AI, they may change the whole landscape. We don't even know yet what we don't know when it comes to that. And so it's a very, very great component of a successful entrepreneur and or company is that flexibility part, always learning, always looking to see what's coming up, try to get as close to the forefront of new technology as you can. If you're not a techie, send someone on your team that is, but just, AI, I'm telling you, everybody here, if you don't embrace it, you're going to get left in the dust. And you either love it or you hate it. But if you hate it, then maybe business isn't where you should be, because it's going to be a vital part, and it already is. I use it almost every day myself personally. So
I absolutely do. I've named my AI. We have great conversations. Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it. What's your go-to AI tool right now?
It is actually NowSite. NowSite has ChatGPT integrated into it, and
beautiful.
it actually knows me. It knows as much or more about me than you do. And so it helps me to do everything I'm doing. It's pretty amazing what it can do.
It is freaking amazing. You can have it write you an entire book. Now, thankfully, I got this in the publisher's hand before that was like literally possible to do. I did a test for NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is a tiny part. Well, not a tiny, about a third of this book is about that mindset. And I just did a test to say, I wonder if I were to start a brand new book and write about NLP, what could I do with, in this case, it was ChatGPT. And it basically gave me an outline with 12 chapters And then it wrote like one paragraph for each chapter, and I just kept telling, expand on that, and it did. I'm like, and it was very accurate. I was like, oh, this is not good. I don't want people writing books that aren't from their own experiences. But hey, just a test, it's here. And that was actually, gosh, close to a year ago when I did all that testing. So embrace it
There's
or
so many
be left in
things.
the dust is what I'll say.
Yeah, there's
And
so many
so,
things that are coming out with that. I'm just crazy stuff that I've been looking into.
yeah, it's like, how many tools can one have? it's, and it's, being a software guy background, it's like shiny object syndrome. Every time I see one, I'm like, ooh, and I'm like, nope, don't do it yet. Let's focus on the task today, and we can look at that later. But oh, they're tempting to go take for a test drive all the time. So let's talk about what it is you do in your business, LeAnn. We can pull up your site so you can give everybody a nice overview. We've been kind of skating across the surface, but let's dive a little bit deeper. And what I'll do is I'll pull up your primary website and then just have you maybe let people know who is your ideal client, who is the one you like working with the most, who do you target with your marketing messages, and then what is it that you do, what kind of service or services do you provide for that avatar, if you will, ideal client. And then third and finally, if you have a success story or two that are fond of that you would like to tell, oh, we'd love to hear that as well. If that would be cool, I'll bring up your website and I'll just let you take it away. And if you don't remember the 3 questions, that's cool. Just ask me.
Okay, sounds good. Well, it's kind of fun is that uh, it's always an evolution, right? So I had a company that my husband and I ran until 2019. We had a sudden closure and I had to reinvent myself again. And I'm a woman of faith. I rely a lot on prayer and talking with God over things. I'm like, tell me what's going on here. And things will just pop up sometimes like miraculous coincidences. The name Joyminder actually is one of those. It's something that I came up with long ago. And it was partly, I don't know if you knew, I used to be a teacher. So I taught middle school math. I'm a total nerd. I actually
Wow,
sold a program when I was 11 years old, Brian.
that's awesome.
So I've just been a techie, yeah, since 4th grade. And I love working with people, but I took this test. I'm sure you've heard of it called the Clifton Strengths Finder. And in that, I learned my top 5 strengths. Have you taken that one, Brian?
I have not even heard of it.
Oh, really? Oh, it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to dive into this a little bit because I think it's pretty cool. And I think a lot of people can benefit from it. It's very different from like a disc profile in that there are 35 identified strengths and we all have them to some degree. Now, obviously, your 35th strength is probably not your strength, but your top 5 probably inform most of the decision making and most of the things you do on a daily basis. So, my top 5 when I took the test was strategic, achiever, intellection, which by the way doesn't mean I'm smart, but that's okay, and belief and positivity. But the intellection part is actually interesting because what it means is I'm able to often hear several different ideas, several different stories, and if I pause, if I wait a minute, I can actually kind of feel things kind of create inside. And that's what I love to do with business owners. So when I hear somebody tell me, I really want to do in a strategic and achiever, that all helps too, right? That might be why I've achieved a little bit. But when people tell me their dream, they're like, I want to do this, or if they can picture something, I can often enhance that vision with them and then troubleshoot, which part of this will you love doing and which
Mm,
parts do you struggle with? Like if you're not techie, you said this earlier, if you're not techie, let's find somebody who is, or maybe it's something I can help you with because I'm techie and I have people that can do tech even when I'm out on the boat. So that's what I love to do. I really love to just work with a business owner, hear their dream. I'm working with a prominent chiropractor in Texas right now, and his dream is to bring in and talk with more chiropractors all over the world and help them to be, to increase their practices. And I loved strategizing with that. He saw what I was doing. He's like, "LeAnn, I just want to do what you're doing." I'm like, "Great, let's do it." So we put together the whole strategy for him. And it's really on a case by case basis. Some people are like, "Well, who's your one target?" If you're in business, let's have a conversation. Let's see where it can go. If I'm not the right fit for you, I know a lot of other people who might be a better fit for you, and I'd love to make the introduction.
I love it.
So
I love it. Yeah. So you had to do a complete, basically start over almost in 2019, and that's not that long ago. And it
yeah,
can
and then
take a
there's this
while.
thing called 2020.
What was that? What happened then?
Yeah. Well, so I jumped out of the one business. I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to go MLM travel all the way. Did you hear me? Travel.
Yep.
8 months later, everything shut down. I'm like, okay, this is not fun, God. Please, please, please show me where I'm going.
Those were some interesting times. And the thing I look at the positive side of things, like when that happens, is how do you adjust as a, it doesn't matter who your entrepreneur or family member, what do you do to adjust to this, to, keep some sense about your life, but also to keep income flowing. And, I had this idea like, well, what would someone like Richard Branson do, or Elon Musk, or those that are just problem solvers, whether you like them or not is a different story. But if you look at them, what would they do? People like them, given this. So most people make their millions, their wealth, during down times, because they come up with solutions to those down times. And I'll never forget this, LeAnn. I had this thought. I should have pulled the trigger sooner, but that was to get on Amazon and become an affiliate of Boday's. Because what was the one thing that every store was being completely gutted of, that more than anything, that even food, it was toilet paper. And
Yep.
I tell you that the Boday's started selling like hotcakes, and I missed that boat, but I thought that would have been a good opportunity right there. So you take
It was, for me,
a
it was
crappy
Zoom.
situation. What's
Yeah.
that?
Good one. Well, I was using Zoom before 2020. I loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing. And even when 2020 all started, I thought, oh, Zoom's going to be big. Why I didn't buy stock then? Like, oh, what was I doing?
Yeah, gosh, crystal ball, right? If we only had one.
Right.
I had an online fitness business called Global Fitness Club. I did live streaming workouts, and this was before 2020. And I ended up dissolving that company a couple of years before 2020 because nobody was interested in online workouts. I hired 3 different Facebook ad agencies, and none of them could crack the code, because everyone wanted to go to a brick and mortar and be there with other people, hear their grunting and sweating and all that. And I'm like, I get it. I'm a gym rat. And I thought, well, that's a bummer. I did live streaming workouts where people would work out with me in their living rooms. Well, then what happens? 2020 hits, and everybody is working out from home to some program or another. It's like, dang it. But I have no regrets, because I learned a lot in that process. I don't want to go back to it. I love where I'm at now. And so it's a progression. And it's like, where you are today isn't necessarily the final destination. Hopefully it's not for any one of us, because that just takes away the fun of living life. Entrepreneurship is, I never want there to be an end. Just keep going until my last breath. And then my renewed self will begin for in eternity. I'm with you, believer. And yes, I love that about you. That's awesome. So, oh my goodness. See, there's a reason for that light of joy, a bigger reason.
There is.
Yes.
There is. We can't make the choice later.
True. What choice will we make? Those that haven't. And it's an easy choice to make. Oh my goodness. But and we can plant these seeds. It's okay. I have no problem with that. That is part of what we do, right? Planting the seeds as we go. So you had to do those out of necessity in 2019. So that had to be a daunting task. And so you've been through startup quite recently in your own life. And so what a great thing for you to be able to help others to do the same.
Yeah.
And, to reach number 10 in an affiliate program, that's even harder. That's harder than the network marketing, because you don't have a team that's also feeding that status up to the top. You basically have the one level of affiliates. That's even more impressive to me, honestly. So that's another reason for folks to understand that, yes, if you're looking for someone to help you, she is the one to at least have a conversation with. I'm not going to tell you she is the answer for you until you and LeAnn will figure that out together. And if you're not, like she said, if I'm not the fit, I will know somebody who might be able to help you. And that's the
Yeah.
way it's got to be. I mean, what do you think about that? There are people out there that, if someone has a credit card and a heart that's beating, they want them no matter what. I mean, it's like, I just got to make the money. Have you ever had that mindset, like in the very beginning, where it's a bit more of a scarcity mindset? I have in the beginning, where it's like, I got to make a buck. I'm going to get anybody that's got a heartbeat and some money that's going to say yes to my program. But where you are now, what is that like?
Yeah, it's just completely different. You're right. When you're starting out, you're like, oh, so multi-level marketing coffee, right? This is one of some of the awards back here. The, it's like, oh, they have to buy it from me. And then I realized, it just really isn't that. And there's close to 8 billion people on the planet. If you sit back and say, okay, look, I can't actually reach or service a percent of that, not even 1% of that. So there's an abundance to that when you realize, first of all, work with the people that bring you some joy. I mean, if people are a headache, fire them. I mean, it really, realistically, like, give them back some money and say, you know what? I would love to introduce you to, and I mean, check it out with somebody else. I've done that in real estate too, where I'm like, you know what? This isn't working. I'd love to introduce you, and I'll tell the other realtor, hey, here's the deal. And sometimes they're willing to do that. Like, yeah, I'll work with them. And you just have to have the fit, and personality matters a lot, but also drive, ambition, follow through. There's so many things. Find the fit.
Yeah, congruency with value systems. I mean, so much. And you're so right. And that's the thing is, they say hire slow, fire fast. So same goes with bringing on a client. Make sure they are a fit, because a client can become a cancer to your company if they're not a fit. They could be that one that's whining and crying and I paid $29 for your program and it's not working. They keep calling, supporting, whatever that case may be. It's like, well, first you need to charge more. And then second, those are the kind of people you want to make sure that you filter before you say yes. And if you do say yes, do like you said, LeAnn, fire them. Say, look, this isn't working out. It might just be a personality mismatch or a value mismatch, but I know somebody who might be a fit. Or if they're not a fit, it's like, I can't work with you because you're bringing me down and my whole business with it. So you gotta be very discerning, and can't just take people with room on their credit card. And that's what so many, I made that mistake, and I know many more are making that mistake right now. And it's good to put this message out, and just know that if you're watching this and you're in that state, it does get better. You will get there. And just be discerning as much as you possibly can right now, and get there as soon as you possibly can, because you'll be in your element. You'll be serving people from your heart like LeAnn does, and you'll be in that sweet spot. And then you'll notice business picks up even faster, because you're loving yourself and respecting yourself more. And that comes off with them. They see that, like a dog sensing fear. What do you think of all that, LeAnn? I'm talking way too much tonight. I don't know what's going on with me.
Well, it ties into, you mentioned book. I love books. I think when I left elementary school, I asked the librarian, so did I read them all?
Wow.
I didn't, but I have always loved to read. And I will say, this year, I'm still not sure I've read a fiction book, because as much as I'd love to, there's just so much to do and a lot to learn. Right now, though, I am diving into Jamie Kern Lima's book, Worthy. And she talks a lot about the difference between self-confidence and self-worth. And in her book, she's giving step by step, like, how do you get more towards the self-worth and not just self-confidence? You need both. But if you have lots of self-confidence and no self-worth, that's called narcissism.
Yeah. It's gotta make sense. It's gotta feel right. And that's something I learned late in my life, how important that was, when I finally decided that if it doesn't feel right, I'm not going to do it anymore. And I finally got to that point. In fact, the business that I had, the fitness business, dropping it and moving into what I'm doing now was a part of that, a big part of it. interesting thing. I spent years putting that together. I had videos I'd made. My son helped me with some of them, workout videos that were recorded for those that wanted a membership. I mean, lots and lots and lots of work went into that. And the day I decided to get rid of it, I didn't just say I'm walking away. I literally deleted the entire website. All the videos went with it. Gone. Poof, in vapor. And I actually felt good. I felt liberated. I didn't hate it. I actually loved it when I did it, or when I was in it. But I knew where I wanted to go, and it was much stronger than where I had been. And so it's good to make these difficult decisions that seem difficult at the time. But once I made that one, in my case, I was like, oh, good, I'm done. I'm not walking back to that. Love fitness. I still go to the gym myself, but it's not what I want to do in business life. That just happened to be.
The word decide ends in IDE or CIDE, and I believe that's the definition of that when it's attached to like divide, IDE, decide is to cut off.
Yes, something yeah. When you decide,
And when you decide, you're cutting off something that, and by the way, I had all of my YouTube videos disappear one day.
Whew.
That was not my choice. And I literally got sick. And it's amazing as you go through and you realize, how attached you can get to things. And again, I thought this was later, I realized it was a lesson. I actually ultimately got my channel back, which took a while. And I was a little bitter for a bit, but you can find me over there now. It's, if you choose to delete the videos, it's one thing. If they're suddenly poof, gone, whole different feeling.
Yeah. And then we start learning all the other things that we wish we had known ahead of time, like the importance of backups and having them all on our computers and drives and Google Drives and everywhere else.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And in fact, my next week in my summit, all 8 of us will talk about those pivot points. And that, is obviously one of my pivot points. I went from having an online presence, having a YouTube channel to not, and I pivoted. In 10 days later, I did my first in-person group presentation.
And kudos. And this is why anybody looking to either start a business or grow their current business, this is someone you want to actually reach out to, and you're going to get that opportunity here in a moment. Actually, she's going to give you a gift, and in that process of connecting with her, you can find out if you two are a fit to take it to the next step where she can help you. She's been through it. She's pivoted already once, at least, most recently 2019. So that's not that long ago. So it's impressive. You're already up and running, but it's also not surprising because of your acumen, your background, your experience, and most of all, your joy. Yes, joy is a big part of it. I love it. Chief Joy Officer. Holy smokes. I just saw the time. Gosh, there's so many more things. It does every single time, probably because I'm talking too much tonight. But one thing I love to ask successful entrepreneurs like yourself is this one question about this topic called marketing. Because what worked, say, 20 years ago, I remember this. I could send out a blast email and I could make money from it like that. That doesn't work today. 20 years ago, that does not work today. What works today may not work 20 years out in the future. What is important is what is working today. And so I'm curious for you and your business, if you were to pick one marketing strategy, like, is it referral marketing? Is it paid ads? Is it word of mouth? Is it social media outreach? For you right now, what is your number one go-to marketing strategy that's bringing you the most clients and success?
Right now, I will say, emails are really tough. Paid ads, especially on social media, it's rough. If it works at all, I'm not even sure. I think showing up authentically is what works. And that means in person at networking events as well as online. Reach the people you're looking to reach for and serve first. That's, I think, what works best. If you can serve first, and then that's kind of it ends up being part of your vetting as well. So I have a podcast as well, and that's what I do. I serve first. I invite people for me to do a little bit like you do, different, but raise people up, talk to them, delve into, why did they want to become an entrepreneur? That's a little bit different conversation than we're having here, but serving first, and then from there I can decide, it's a cool person, maybe we can do something more in some way, shape, or form. So just get out there, meet people, and understand, well, in my belief system, again, the right people will show up. You can't keep them away.
Ooh, I love that. That's the exact opposite of what most people think. Is they're like, I wonder who I can connect with today, but you're saying the right person will be there. That's a different mental outlook. I love that. It's more like a receiving rather than a pushing out and trying to gather. No hunting and gathering, just they'll be there. They'll come. They're coming. But you still got to engage with them. You got to talk to them. So, I know these people are now thinking, oh, automatic marketing. I love it. I'll just show up and people just come over to me. It's like, it ain't that easy. But
no. No, I've wanted to believe in that too. And like the sign up 5 and they'll sign up 5. It just doesn't, it doesn't work that way.
Not quite, does it? No. But showing up in person is a perfect. I think that is one marketing strategy that will and has withstood the test of time. That is one of those things that did work 20 years ago. That still works today, and I think it will probably even more powerfully in the future, because we're all now hiding behind our Zoom cameras. I wouldn't say hiding. It is very nice, and it's very convenient to do this. And I would recommend people do this all the time, because my God, we didn't have this technology that long ago. And now you can do this, like what you're doing. You're showing up in person on this live video show that people are calling a podcast. And I would recommend that as a great strategy, just what you're doing, LeAnn. You have your own show, and now you're getting on, and you probably have already been doing this on other people's shows. Now you're getting in front of other tribes and other people's venues that no one would have ever known who you were had you not done this. And it's a strategy I know by a friend of mine who is a podcasting expert, that he started his own podcast, and then he turned it around and said, I'm going to get on as many other podcasts as I possibly can as a guest. And that he said was his secret sauce. And so I can't agree with you more. And that's just one strategy, going to networking events. I've got those lanyards and badges that would put Mr. T to shame, if you remember who that was back in the day with his gold chain.
I do.
Yes. And so totally agree with that. That's one strategy. I think that it could be timeless. I mean, I have no crystal ball, but it's lasted the test of all these years for sure. Is in person. That there's no substitute for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it. I didn't like it back when I could just blast an email to thousands, because I'm reaching a lot of people with very little effort. And now it's like, God dang, it's going to take so much effort just to reach one person. But that's just the way it works right now. That's the best way.
And cool. I think you have to know your own business. You have to know what's going to work. If you're selling windows, going online might not be the thing, but joining a group, I'm just throwing names out there I'm not associated with, but BNI or Success Champions or Accelerated Global Connections, there's all different types of networking events out there too. It doesn't have to be a big conference. Just go to your local chamber and meet people. And honestly, I think that can work for almost anybody. But again, realtors, you're not looking in Arkansas unless you live in Arkansas. Then you're looking in Arkansas.
Yeah, all incredibly good advice. I appreciate that. And I'm sure everyone watching and listening does too. And by the way, if you're watching us live, fantastic. If you're watching this, either a recording or you came on and you're listening on the podcast, we are on 35 podcast platforms on audio only format. I would implore upon you to come visit us live in a future date. And to do the show.com, yes, it is a long URL, the mindbodybusinessshow.com. And click on any of the buttons that say where and how to watch. Fill out your information. All we do is we email you the moment we are going live, so that way you never miss another episode if you so desire to come on, because we love engagement. We love the questions that come in. We love the shout outs. It makes it much more fun. And we want to give you the best value we possibly can. This is like going to a networking seminar once a week for me personally. I get a 1 hour time with someone as amazing as LeAnn, and you don't get that at a networking seminar. Have you been to those, LeAnn, where you sit for 90 minutes, you get a break for 15, you go to the bathroom, you got 5 minutes left to say hi to somebody and build a relationship? It's not enough time until the late evening where you all break for dinner and then you find everybody at the bar getting sauced, and it's like, oh, this isn't working. And so it's the best thing. Podcasting, live video shows, these are one of the best things you could do today. Tomorrow it may be different, but right now, having done this show for 5+ years, I can attest to it. I made so many relationships. Is that something you found true with your podcast? You make a lot of great new relationships.
It's so great. I really do. And I really welcome almost any type of business to come on. Now my podcast is geared towards women business owners, but I've had everything. My most recent guest was a pet death doula, all the way to people who are running travel agencies and doing online marketing. It's just the diversity. I'm sure you get the same thing. The diversity of entrepreneurs, it's so much fun.
It is. The imagination that some of these entrepreneurs had to build what businesses they have too. It's like, where did you think of this? It's life experience that drives you to what you're passionate about. And that's the funny thing. Not funny, but it's really telling that the most successful entrepreneurs that I have met are those that are in most alignment with what they are doing as far as passion and joy. And it's like, if you get up in the morning and it's arduous, every bit of it all day long is like, that may not be the right fit for you. My fitness business wasn't arduous all the time, but I felt something wasn't 100% there. And then when I got great advice to shift it, I didn't think of it myself. 3 people and 3 different times told me, and I'm like, they're right. Wow. And I feel better thinking about that other thing. Okay. And so sometimes you just need advice. We're getting, oh my God, it's already there. So LeAnn, real quick, I like to end. We got a to give away, so please, everyone, hang on just a few extra minutes because Brian blabbed too long on this one and kept LeAnn on too late. Sorry, but I like to ask a closing question of every guest that comes on this show, LeAnn, and it's something I used to do kind of randomly in the beginning, first couple of years of the show, and I realized, oh my gosh, the answers are so profound. I want to ask this of everybody that comes on this show, and so we're going to close with that in a moment. And the great thing is it's a very profound question, not because of the question, but because of the answers that we get from all of you wonderful people. And I can't wait for yours. Before we do that, real quick, we have 2 gifts to give away. So ladies first. So LeAnn has a gift. I'm going to put up a little thing on I'm going to actually bring up your website for that, because you put up a beautiful brand new page just for this very purpose. So we have to show it off. She worked very hard on this. We're going to bring it up right now. In fact, actually, wrong button, Brian. There we go. It's coming. She has a gift for you. And what is that gift, LeAnn? I'll let you take it away.
I would love to meet with you. I just am fascinated by business owners. And if you feel the same, guess what? I'm one. So let's get together. Let's have coffee. If you'd like, I will send you the coffee. But we can pick a date. The calendar is right there. You can probably see that bright yellow button. And I'll also invite you to connect with me at LeAnnLyon.com and check out the summit coming up next week as well.
Yeah, so the gift, go to this website for those of you listening on podcast and are just listening only. Write this down. It's MBB, stands for Mind, Body, Business. So wonderful of you to do that. Dash invite .now.site, and that's SITE. So it's MBB-invite.now.site. That is where you can just have a coffee with LeAnn, sit down, have a chat, see if she can help you, and also be respectful of her knowledge and her time, and see if she is a fit to take the next step. And you may never know that this could be the one thing that can change your life for the better forever, because you got connected with somebody remarkable who loves to help people. And that's why I love what I get to do with this show. And then I do want to re-mention your site, which I did not do earlier verbally. I want to say it out loud. And that is what I'm going to pull on the screen right now. And that is LeAnnLyon.com. And it's spelled L-E, 1 E, and 2 N's, Lyon, Lyon. So I'll spell the whole thing, LeAnnLyon.com. I guess I said it plural in the beginning, in the opening. I apologize for that. I saw your chat later.
Most people do. Most people do. It's no big deal. I should probably own that as well.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Have it forward. So yeah, LeAnn Lyon, singular, Brian.com. And so you want to go to both those websites, but check out her gift, get on the calendar, pick a time that works best for you, and it will work good for her because it's on her calendar. In fact, yeah, just write that down, mbb-invite.now.site. And then real quick, I had promised everyone that you could enter to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Again, compliments of Reach Your Peak. And to do that, you must be watching live. So all of you watching live, you are in the running. All you need to do is write this URL down and then enter it after we say goodnight. We will still be monitoring. Do not worry. We just gave one away last week. We do every week, and can't wait to see who the winner is. So to do that, I'm going to put it up on the screen. So write this web address down. It is ryp.im/vacation. Make sure it's all lowercase, ryp.im/vacation. Write that down, get it down, and then enter to win after we say goodnight, which is in just a few minutes, because it's time for that wonderful, incredible, earth-pounding, shaking question for LeAnn Lyon. Oh, my goodness. So one of the great things about this, there's a couple of great things about this question, LeAnn, and that is, first, there is no such thing as a wrong answer.
Oh, good. I was worried.
It's not a test. It's not a quiz. And in fact, it's interesting. The exact opposite is the case, is that the only correct answer will be yours because it will be unique to you. And that's the beautiful thing about it. And the other part of it that is also really cool is it may take you a microsecond. Being a techie, you know what that means. Or it could take you many, many seconds to come up with the answer. Guess what? That too is just fine because it's your answer. So now that there's absolutely no pressure and you're going crazy wondering, what the heck is this question going to be? Are you ready for the last question of the evening?
Hit me with your best shot.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good song. Pat Benatar too. All right, here we go. LeAnn Lyon, how do you define success?
You know, if I had my chat GPT in front of me, I'd create an acronym for that. It's actually one of my favorite things to do, is to create an acronym for success or for anything. I really believe, though, success is inside. Success isn't outside. It's not the boat. It's not the house. It's not the yard. It's not the relationships. Success really is internal. It's what you feel inside. It's that, for me, the joy of knowing I made a difference. The first time I completed my summit, I asked for testimonials. I asked, hey, tell me what made a difference here. And success was when somebody said, I didn't want to get out of bed this morning, but I tuned in, and now I have mission forward. I'm going to make a difference in this world. I'm going to start the business I thought I couldn't do. That was my definition of success right there. Everything you did. That first summit, by the way, was so hard. But that one comment, and you can see it on my pages today, was made every ounce of trial worth it.
There's so many great things I love about the answers to that question, not the question itself, is that, LeAnn, I've been doing this quite some time now, and no two people yet have answered it the same way. That's why it is so powerful. And later, I will be reaching out to everyone who's been on my show, you included, to get your permission to be included in the next book, which will be How Do You Define Success? As a collaborative, because it's so powerful that it'd be great for everyone to see the insights of what one person. And here's the other thing, LeAnn, what you just described today, 5 years from now, it may be an entirely different answer.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's kind of like marketing. It's a moving target. It's always changing because of our life experiences. So it's so uniquely powerful. That's why I like to end every show with it. Oh, I hate to say this, and I'm getting rid of the word hate. So I really dislike to say this, but It's time to call it a wrap. We went over 7 minutes. I apologize to everyone. Thank you. My gosh, everyone's hanging on. I haven't seen anyone drop off. LeAnn, thank you mostly to you and for spending your very valuable time with us, for helping our audience and yours as well to get the strategies, tips, and common sense that it takes to grow a very successful business such as you have done more than one time. And so thank you so very much, LeAnn, from the bottom of my heart for coming on here tonight.
Brian, thank you. This was truly a joy. The whole process has been wonderful, and looking forward to our continued relationship and your next book.
Yes. That's what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. Relationship building. I love it. Yes. On behalf of the amazing and beautiful LeAnn Lyon, I am your host, Brian Kelly, and author of Mind Body Business, but host of Mind Body Business Show. And I cannot wait till we come on again next time. But until then, please do two things before we part ways. Two things. And that is, one, continue to go out and do everything you can to crush it in your business. Why? Because when you improve, when you grow, when you scale, that means you are serving and helping more people. And number two, above all else, everyone, to a person, please be blessed. That's it for us. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com.